aye Ghanatube so yeka ensema ekwaso dia na ubenya ni na efri channel we so for my science attenance you know we say ensem bi ekwaso ewo the four corners of Ghana entem pass ndimechi na yenkoti ensem na yembra.
Now we start with the United States Agency for International Development because they have suspended their supply of essential health commodities in Ghana, with the regions up north being the most affected. Now the decision follows an executive order by the U.S. President Donald Trump enforcing a global freeze on U.S. foreign aid. Now this has also raised significant concerns about the availability of essential medicines and health commodities, particularly in the northern region, the northeast region, and Savannah regions, which rely heavily on the northern regional medical stores for distribution. Now, so how does this actually affect Ghana? We're looking at how Ghana benefits from the U.S. aid. Well, join me in the studio is data analyst Isaac Kofi, a key member of our research desk here at Joy News. Kofi, walk us through the details.
Well, firstly, U.S. aid is big. And why is it big? Because if you look at it on the African continent perspective, since 2017, the U.S. aid that has flown into the continent has always been above $8.3 billion. So that tells you that this is a revenue source, or this is a support scheme that is really important to Africa. Now, just this morning, we're trying to get additional information and put this conversation into proper perspective, trying to assess information from the USAID website. And what we realized was that the website was down. And we know not just the website, but other institutions and other offices that are actually put together for facilitating this aid are also not really working like the way they used to work a year ago, 2 years ago. Now, let's bring it home. Now, if you look at it on Ghana's perspective, what we gain from USAID on average is usually around $150 million every year. Now, this goes into supporting education, health. There's also economic growth, agriculture, and governance. And so it's not just health, but this $150 million average inflows cut across 5 key areas that we actually gain the support to help. Now, because the conversations around health, we will break this $150 million down and look at the figure that we requested for this year. We were assuming that, USAID will be available in 2025. So we placed the request for somewhere, let's say roughly $140 million, or let's say $138 million for this year. What we are understanding is that this aid has been cut. It means that this projection that we are looking for, we may not be able to get it. And when USAID comes in, it comes in Forex. It means that it doesn't just go into, health or education, but also helps in, making sure that our cedi is stabilized. Now, this 137.7 million Ghana cedis that we're looking for this year, let's break it down and see which sectors we're looking for this money to support. If you look at health, is the biggest component. Somewhere $69.2 million dollars is what we are looking for to support health infrastructure, health security, maternal health care, and other important areas under health care. 69.2 million Ghana cedis.
Well, I see why it's now a big deal for Ghana, because that's a lot of money. How do we bridge that gap? And that's a question we should be posing to the Ministry of Health. How they plan to bridge this gap?
Now, the interesting thing is that if you look at the budgetary allocation for all the, let's say now 23 or hitherto 30 ministries, if you take away the education ministry that usually will have the biggest budget, health ministry is next. And even if you look at health ministry's budget, most often the main component goes into compensation of employees, but the key support comes from aids and grants. That tells you that the entire health system of Ghana, especially when you look at it from infrastructure, security, and other key aspects, hinges on aid, and the USAID plays an important role. And
it raises the question, really, Kofi, what happened to our Ghana Beyond Age agenda?
That's a good question.
And looking at this gap, let's look at other sectors. How much is this?
This is health. This is what we are expecting this year. But let's even put the conversation in proper context, looking at it from the HIV support. What we've been getting from the USAID. we know that since 2017, there's a package that was put together to support, the treatments and of HIV/AIDS in Ghana, and we know that since 2017, the monies that have flown into the country as a result of this package or this system is around $140 million. It means that is also a key component that will be affected under the healthcare and other things. For me, the most important one is the maternal health, because that is a critical area under our health system. $69.2 million, and you will know that a key or a significant component will go into support for maternal health. Now we come to education, the sector with the biggest budgets in whenever we plan for the country, and 15.9 or roughly around $16 million is what we're expecting from the USAID in 2025 this year to support education. If you look at agriculture, very important sector, $33 million, and the last one has to do with climate, $3 million. And so if you add all of this is the 137 or roughly $138 million that we're looking for from the USAID this year to help key components or sectors of the economy. It's unfortunate that this support has been cut. It's not just Ghana that is suffering. When you go to Nigeria, they are also complaining. They were expecting $500 million. And so if you compare that to Ghana, you will see that, if we are complaining about, let's say, 140 million, how much more, Nigeria and Co and South Africa who all, benefits from the USA. So
it appears we fail to walk the talk when it comes to Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. Well, in the northern region, they are already feeling the impact, and the Ghana Health Service Directorate there has already written to the regional body. They want help, and that statement is coming up on your screen shortly, just painting a picture of what they are going through as a result of the suspension. Now, they go on to say that the suspension directly impacts the following key areas. Last mile distribution. They go on to explain that the halt in distribution of services poses a severe risk of stockouts for essential medicines, vaccines, and other critical health commodities, potentially disrupting healthcare service delivery in the 3 regions of the north. They go on to say procurement and supply chain management support. Now, they explain that the withdrawal of technical assistance and logistics coordination provided through the Chemonics will weaken inventory management, tracking, and reporting systems, making it more difficult to ensure continuous supply. They go on to say several health programs reliant on USAID-funded commodities include maternal and child health, malaria prevention and treatment, family planning, HIV/AIDS services are likely to experience shortages affecting service delivery and patient care outcomes. So it's quite a broad issue we're looking at here. Now, in response to this urgent situation, the regional health management, the team convened an emergency meeting with the district health management teams and budget management center heads to assess the impact and explore mitigation strategies. And that's key. How best do we mitigate the impact? Now, after extensive deliberation, it was agreed that the interim Skynet Express, which was previously engaged by USAID for LMD, could serve as a stopgap measure to maintain scheduled distribution for the year 2025, while long-term solutions are explored.
Comment section. Na mejebre akenkan ni na ede amofefe. Aha Ghanatube. So open be say 80 the name mama owemfi. So obe subscribe no ma hit notification bell no ede amofefe. Model for snowy. Me na metena say ede nsem na ebrem sisi ade makram.